Ocean City Yu-Gi-Oh!
All right, we'll just do this the monsters real quick.
Okay.
So the monsters, you're gonna play 2 big chicken, which is the Sacred Garunix. I want to bump this up to 3. Funny story is I bought 3 structure decks. I only got 2 of these. Instead, I got in one of the structure decks, I got 2 Ponics. So, Konami quality control. Then we play 3 Kieran. It's a must. You cycle through them so often, just like getting pops and summoning monsters and whatever you need, pretty much. I mean, the cards. Without that card, this deck is nothing. 3 Avarta, it's your monster negate. Also is a monster reborn, but it reborns the monster negated. Then the other, I guess, bread and butter of the deck is Ponix. So like Ponix Kieran is just crazy to open. Then you have your one-ofs. So I play the 1 Barong. I thought about playing 2, but I mean, if they crow it, they crow it. There's enough ways to get your engine moving again. I play the 1 Ring Bali. It doesn't come up often, but when it does, it wins games, like negating a Regained or negating a Vadis, like I negated a Vadis today with this. And then the other one of is a OG Sacred Phoenix of Nepiths. I play it just because it's another fire target, and I think this number is pretty solid. I'd maybe bump the big Garunix, the big chicken, up to 3. But basically, you could set yourself up for this. So, like, if your opponent goes first and you notice that they're playing back, like Lab or back row or something like that, if you have the right cards in hand, so like if you have like a Kieran and like a Garunix in hand and maybe another fire monster, you could Kieran pop the fire monster, trigger Garunix, summon the Garunix, and then destroy this from deck on their turn. So that way, when it comes back to you in standby, you could blow out all spells and traps, which is crazy. So that's the monsters. That's, I feel like, very standard, except for maybe the Nepiths. For hand traps, we have to play a big hand trap lineup to support the deck. 3 Ash, it's a must because it's a fire, so it's also a target for your field spell. 3 Droll, I mean, there's not much to say about this card. I honestly think that this should get hit. I don't know. I feel like it just impedes so many decks besides, like, Unchained and Rescue Ace, which happen to be the top decks.
In your favorite deck, your Vanadiums, it's great against that.
Yeah, and hits Vanadiums hard though. 2 Veilers. Just because like between these 5, you'll see more than likely see 1. And you need at least 1 in graveyard because you have to climb into Selene for access code OTK. So you need, these are spellcasters, these 5. So you could, Selene, if there's 3 spells anywhere on the field, gain, or in the grave, gain 3 counters, reborn one of these guys that you used on their turn, make access code, and then hopefully OTK. So that's the hand traps. And for spells, 3 Sanctuary. You search this off Ponix, or if you hard open it, it's cool too. You just activate it. It activates your field spell directly from your deck. And then, unpopular opinion, I think 3 field spells cracked. I think you 99.9% of the time don't want to have to search this to get this. I think like if you open this and you get this, cool. Even if you open 2, it's like not terrible because whatever. If they negate the activation and destroy it, you just put up another one. But also like using Ponix to get your other spell that I'll show you in a minute is way more powerful than using it to grab this. And then for non-engine spells, 3 Eclipse. Card is cracked. Card's cracked all day long. It can protect you from Nib. It's Ash bait, so your Ponix or your Fireking field spell doesn't get ashed. So that's good about it. And I think the card is just really good this format. I mean, it turns off a whole bunch of stuff. Tier elements, it turns off their back row. Unchained, it stops Caesar. Centurion, as you see, if I book them, then they can't Calamity lock me. And it's non-targeting, so it's good into other matchups, like rogue matchups like Makonko it was really good into the Exo-Sister matchup because I was just able to get rid of the Michaelis immediately. But also, the funny thing is the Fireking field spell does not have to destroy a face-up monster. So if you go normal summon Ponix and they go Valor or Imperm on it, you could chain the book, still get your Ponix search, which would be like your Scarburn or this if you didn't have it, to get the field spell. But typically, if you have the field spell, so you normal the Ponix, effect, they Imperm or Valor, you book, and then you activate the field spell and you pop the face down Ponix. So you still get your search off Ponix, and then you also get the next standby phase effect because you destroyed it, and then it just starts your whole engine. So book is just insane. Consistency cards, because there is a lot of hand traps and some other stuff going on here. Prosp. It's also Ash Bait. The extra deck you typically don't go into too much. There's like, I'd probably say the extra deck cards that come up the most is like, I'll show you in a minute. Then for our one-ofs, we're playing the one Skyburn. I heard this was really good to play at 2, but I don't ever see me needing to. Sometimes in a grind game it comes up. The one Talents, weird, I know, but I wanted to have like another consistency piece and also something just to pair with the called by. So these are the 3 one-ups. And that's the spells. And then for traps, we're not doing anything fancy, just 3 imperms. And that is the main deck. It is a solid 40.
Nice.
For the extra deck, it's a little bit different, but I think probably pretty standard. 1 Typhon. It's free in this deck. Outs Infernoble boards. Other problematic like synchro boards, like maybe a Baron de Fleur, like Manadium boards and stuff like that. Then we have the 2 King Chicken Xyz. Basically, when he hits field, he nukes all monsters on the board, and he can also detach 1 material to destroy a spell and trap. If he gets destroyed by card effect, so like if your field spell, if your opponent pops your field spell or banishes your field spell, it'll trigger, it'll destroy him, and then because he was destroyed by card effect, you could summon back your Garunix and your Kirin, and they're not summoned back negated, so they're totally live. Then for the other Xyz, we got 1 Dingirsu, never comes up, ever. 1 Dweller, comes up in like tier, graveyard decks. Comes up in the mirror. Dweller in the mirror is insane. 1 Baguska, just because floodgates are cool sometimes. And then links, we got access code, Oppo, never made Oppo, Celine, just these 2 enable the OTK. SP is a must. IP to, you could sometimes, like if you have, I guess, enough bodies, you could go make IP instead of SP, so you could IP on their turn, but 9 times out of 10, I just make SP because it applies more pressure. And then you got 1 Hida, you need it. If you get ashed, it basically gives you the ability, if you have a spellcaster engraved, to climb into Celine, climb an access code, OTK. Dark, so for like Bestial matchups or anything that runs dark, same principle. You make Link Karibo, then you make this, take a dark, make Celine, make access code. And then you got your 1 Anima for Monster Steel. Also, sometimes, like, for some reason, your Link Karibo got banished or whatever the case is, you have another Link 1 you could climb into with your Ponix. And that is all the extra deck monsters. And then for the side deck, it's a little wonky, but I think it's pretty standard. For monsters, we got 3 Nibs. We got 3 Bells. Nibs are just like a must, I feel like. And I was trying to play it at 2, but it doesn't make sense. You just got to play it at 3. Bell right now, I think, is insane, especially in this deck, because Crow is going to be super popular if it isn't already. So everybody's going to want to Crow your stuff. So that way you can't get like your standby ad or whatever the other case is, like crowing your Garunix to prevent you from like summoning it back the next turn. Like this just says no. This is also cracked. If you think about it, it's cracked into pretty much every matchup. Unchained, it's really good. Tier limits, it's really good. Rescue Ace, you could stop their turbulence from banishing to summon. I mean, in the Bestial Runic that Joshua Schmidt just played at YCS, this card just goes poop on it. They go, Fountain Effect to draw 3, and then you just bell it, and then they lose all their follow-up. Because you don't want to have to deal with a board more than you need to. And then to follow up on that, double Crow, Mirror / I don't have 3 Crow, or else I'd probably play Bell at 2. And then for the weird one-ofs, we have one OG Fire Chicken. Standby phase, if it's destroyed the next standby phase, during either player's standby phase, it special summons back and wipes the field. So it's good if you already got like rid of the negates and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about a Baron negate because it used it, and you summon this, blow up their field. One Baby Kieran. This is also, I think, an OG card. This is basically in combination with the Scatter Shot. These are your time cards. Thankfully, I didn't have to use them today because I don't like playing time cards. But in a world where people play time, you gotta. So basically, you send this off of the big chicken, the Sacred Garanex, and then this can send any fire monster to the graveyard. You send your Scatter Shot, and you burn for 5. And then back row hate, 3 Evenlies, 1 Duster. I think these in combination with the Sacred just applies a lot of pressure. Like into a lab matchup, he was really worried about the Sacred blowing up his back row, so he ended up using Ice Dragon's Prison to take the Sacred and summon it to his field before I could resolve it in draw phase. And I was like, okay, evenly. And then I just won. So it's nice that, between these 4 and then the Sacred applying so much pressure that they kind of just like ignore that this could be a thing. And that is the deck profile.
Yeah. I really gotta give it to my day ones. Do it for my friendos. My grind, I'm feeling a crescendo. Why not? Give it everything I got. My whole team saying this my shot. Yeah, we got a bond, call it 007. My bar Slurpee in the summer, call it 7-Eleven. I used to hezzy with my cross, had him slipping in heaven. The reverend had to stop by just to check for possession. I don't need a reason, I just do it cause I'm blessed with it. Know your boy's dripping, got the sauce, yeah, I'm dressed in it. Even though there's talent on the team, I'm the best with it. Pressed with it, sticking out my chest with it, yeah. Whoa, that's crazy. Your friend's ghost, call them all Pat Swayze. Whoa, mind wavy, squad vibes like Jay-Z.